Well, what can I say? What's up, everyone? So we just descended into the belly of the beast, so to speak, and let me tell you, it was not a fun experience. Although it was very helpful in some ways, and we learned some more about Umgal and his plans. We also met some rather disgusting creatures, but more on them in a bit. Cutting our way into the Nagatsoon ship, we found ourselves quite near to the bridge and possible energy readings. Stumbling on a trail of tiny feet and some exotic strange plants that had seemingly started to reclaim the frigate. Vox took readings from the plants and I gave him a sniff test for sweet rot, just in case like. But it was all clear. We followed the trail of footprints to a console, and after a quick bypass of the system, I had the ship's computer playing an old message from one of these here four-armed Nagatsoon fellas. It was hard to make out the message, but after some brilliant lip reading from Conrad, we worked out that there was another entity like our pal Umgal floating around, but not much else. However, the bridge had another computer we could check, splitting up. Yeah, I know these guys don't watch enough Rhodian drama flicks. We discovered some ancient defensive weaponry that could disable the power armor of the Durellium and possibly blow it up. Not really good news to hear, as Sash has some of this armor. Still, it is handy to know. Then Grayson and Vox found the source of the tiny footprints. An injured Kalumi had crawled into a Bacta tank, seeking refuge. He was pretty badly beaten up, but if he stayed in the tank, he would be okay, Vox thought. There were also two Geks locked up in the tanks. Now why they were here was a bit of a mystery, but there they were, so for the moment we left them safely stowed away. I grabbed some nav data from the bridge whilst this all happened, and then everyone joined us on the bridge to hear the new message. Now this message required someone to sit in the pilot's chair, which seemed a little weird at first, but after some checks it was all okay. And with Sash and his now pulsating power armor nearby in case someone had to rip me out of the seat, we played the message. It seemed that the ship had been floating for some 500 years and potentially had the cross of Centralese hidden on its lower decks. So we mustered up and headed downwards through the decks. We came out in a creepy arse crypt type area, definitely not of Nagatsoon creation, which was obviously a worry as we were on one of their frigates. Someone or thing had revamped the place, and it was now not that hospitable. No, not at all. Conrad rather bravely, or stupidly, maybe both, bypassed what looked like a plasma field defense system by walking straight through it. Luck, the Force, or who knows what mumbo magic was on his side, and it didn't vaporize him, which was nice. He located an off button on the other side, and we all proceeded down a dark corridor. Pop quiz. What hides in dark corridors? Yep, creepy arse ghost things, and that's what we found. Just hovering at the end of the corridor, kinda guarding these experiments in big Bacta tubes. Horrible, dark, gross experiments, though. Like what was once people with strange mutations and just plain nasty stuff. Alara really didn't like this and put an end to whatever suffering these poor wretches had going on. A sad act of mercy to send them on who knows where. The ghost, meanwhile, had ski-daddled down the corridor and joined several even more horrific things. Two monstrosities, one a giant of a beast that wielded a huge lump of wood like a club, and a winged demon-type thing floated in front of this ghoulish man on a floating platform surrounded by ethereal spirits. These were part of the Sorcerers of Rand, an evil, diabolical group who inhabit the unknown regions. The main guy tried to make a bargain with us, enlisting us in his messed-up cult in exchange for their help. Unfortunately, this wasn't like a say-you'll-be-my-friend deal. It was an eternity of servitude type deal. So after Sash tried to talk some sense into them, the negotiations broke down and all hell broke loose. We advanced, and Alara, Conrad, and especially Callista landed some sound shots on them all. They did the same, though, and Callista went down with an agonizing scream. She was okay, just badly beaten up for now, though. My man Klein then laid the pain in the club-wielding beast, and that was one of them down in exchange for one of ours. More gunfire and mystical powers flew as dark bolts of energy ripped through poor Vox, sending him to the floor, bleeding. I landed a lucky shot, not that I am telling anyone else that, sending the winged demon thing crashing down, and then Sash leapt at the main sorcerer, and after smashing him repeatedly in the head, won us the day. Ilias explored a side room on a mystical hunch and located the cross of Centralese hidden away for all those years. Wounds were patched and weapons stowed as we made our way back to the relative safety of the mule, placing the 3 Bacta tubes with living folk securely in 3 separate cargo containers on the side of the mule. Nice and easy to jettison into space if they give us any grief. And that, my Space Hawk delving compadres, is what's up for this week. Keep safe out there.